How do I find the encoding of the current buffer in Vim? Say I am editing some file with Vim, or gvim. I have no idea about the file's encoding and I want to know whether it is in UTF-8 or ISO 8859-1 or whatever. Can I somehow tell Vim to show me what encoding is used?
The file encoding setting shows the current buffer's encoding. There really isn't a common way to determine the encoding of a plaintext file, as that information isn't saved in the file itself, except UTF-8 files where you've got a so-called BOM which indicates the encoding. This is why XML and HTML files have charset meta tags. You can enforce a particular encoding with the encoding setting. See column help encoding and column help file encoding in Vim for how the editor handles these settings. You can also add several file encoding settings to your Vim to have Vim try detecting based on the ones listed.
Note that files encoding is not explicitly stated anywhere in a file.
Thus, Vim and other applications must guess at the encoding.
The canonical way of doing this is with the charted application, which can be run from within Vim as so.
The answer provided by Chimberman shows you the encoding of the current buffer, which may not be the same encoding as the file on disk. Thus, you will notice that charted will sometimes show a different encoding than Vim, especially if you have Vim configured to always use a specific encoding, i.e. UTF-8. The nice thing about charted is that it gives a confidence score for its guess, whereas Vim can be, and often is, wrong about guessing the encoding if there are not many characters above \x7f, ASCII 127. For instance, adding a single to a long file of PHP code makes charted think that the file is ISO 8859-2 with a confidence of 0.72, whereas adding the slightly longer phrase gives UTF-8 with a confidence score of 0.99. In both cases, set file encoding ? Showed UTF-8 not because the file on disk was UTF-8, but because Vim is configured to use UTF-8 internally.
I found that this URL. You can reload a file using a different encoding if Vim was not able to detect the correct encoding. Where encoding could be CP 850, ISO 8859-1, UTF-8, ... You can use your file name to find encoding or char detect, provided by Python chartet or uChardet depending your Linux distribution, as suggested by Dotan Cohen.
Cheers.